I'm an agnostic, and I envy your faith. I want to know why I should believe it's more probable that there is a God than there isn't. You don't have to prove absolutely that there is one. I just want to know that it's more probable that there is than that there isn't, and I want you to show me.
All right, let's talk about the big question everyone loves to ask. Does God exist? And let's do this without running straight to the Bible. No, turn to John chapter this, or Genesis says that. Just logic, reason, and a look around the universe we live in. So buckle up, because we're going on a ride. First off, let's talk about the beginning of everything. The universe, you know, the thing we're all floating in, it had a start. Every scientist agrees on that, even the atheists. Big Bang, whatever you want to call it. But here's the kicker. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. Things don't just pop into existence out of nowhere. If I told you a Lamborghini appeared in my driveway out of thin air, you'd call me crazy. But somehow, we're supposed to believe the entire universe did just that? Nah. Something caused it. Something outside of time, space, and matter. Something eternal and powerful. You want to call that God? I do. Now let's talk about the Big Bang for a second. The best scientific explanation we have for the beginning of the universe is an explosion of light, a moment where everything we see today came into existence from nothing. But here's the kicker. Space is a vacuum. No air, no sound. So if the universe began with light, think about this. What are the chances that all three Abrahamic religions, written centuries before modern science, recorded that in the beginning God said, "Let there be light"? Not a sound, not a bang, light. Coincidence? I don't think so. To me, that's not just poetic language. That's God leaving a fingerprint right there at the start of everything. And then there's fine-tuning. Oh man, this one gets me every time. Look around. The laws of physics, gravity, the speed of light, all those boring science class things you probably forgot about. They're perfect, too perfect. If even one constant was off, this universe would collapse faster than a house of cards in a hurricane. No life, no earth, nothing. So what are the odds that all of this just randomly worked out? About the same as you throwing a dart from space and hitting a bullseye on Earth. It screams design. And where there's design, there's a designer. Now let's bring it closer to home. Humanity. Here's the part that blows my mind. Our bodies, sure, they're made of stuff you find everywhere. Carbon, oxygen, in fact, water. Boring, right? But the one thing that's missing in every star, every planet, self-awareness. Us. Why isn't that scattered all over the universe too? If consciousness is just a random byproduct of evolution, shouldn't it be everywhere? But it's not. You and I are walking, talking miracles because our minds are not like anything else on this planet, or in this galaxy for that matter. And let's talk about that mind of yours for a second. Where does it even come from? Neuroscientists can map brain activity all day, but they can't explain why you're sitting here thinking about love, morality, or your purpose in life. Your mind, your ability to think about things that have nothing to do with survival, points to something bigger. To me, it's where the spiritual and the physical intersect. It's proof that we're not just carbon-based machines. We're designed intentionally and for a purpose. Now let me hit you with this. Because if there's no God, then what even is right and wrong? A personal preference, like liking pineapple on pizza? But you and I know that's garbage. Deep down, we all agree some things are objectively evil. Torturing a baby? Wrong. Always. And where does that sense of morality come from? It's not evolution. Evolution doesn't care about right or wrong, just survive. Objective morality needs an objective source. And that source? God. Period. But here's the twist. If all this points to God, how do we know which God? Why not Zeus or Allah or some other deity? Let's get real. Every religion makes claims, but Christianity stands alone. No other faith gives you a God who steps into history, becomes human, and says, "I'll take the punishment for your mess-ups." Jesus didn't just claim to teach truth. He claimed to be the truth. That's a whole different level. And guess what? The resurrection? That's the receipt. You don't have to believe me, but you'd better wrestle with the fact that no one's been able to disprove it for 2,000 years.
Not only was Jesus' tomb discovered empty, but over a period of time, Jesus appears alive in a dozen different instances to more than 515 people. To skeptics and doubters, as well as to believers, to men, to women, daytime, nighttime, to groups, to individuals. People talked to him, they touched him, they ate with them.
But now here's the big question. Why Christianity? Why not Islam? Why not Judaism? Let's start with what these religions have in common. They're all what we call Abrahamic religions. They share a common root, tracing back to the same God, the same stories, and the same people. They all recognize Abraham as a pivotal figure, and they all believe in one God, the creator of the universe. They believe God revealed himself to humanity and gave us moral laws. So far, so good. But here's where the roads start to diverge. Judaism stopped at the Old Testament, waiting for the promised Messiah. They missed him when he showed up. Islam came later, claiming Jesus was a prophet but not God, and introduced Muhammad as the final prophet. And Christianity? Christianity stands alone in claiming that God didn't just send a message, he became the message. You see, that's the thing about Jesus. He didn't just bring words or commandments. He was the Word, living among us. Unlike any other religious figure, Jesus Christ didn't stand aloof, high up on a pedestal, demanding perfection. He came down, lived among sinners, and loved them. Not just the saints, but the broken, the outcasts, and the ones society gave up on. He ate with them, healed them, forgave them, and called them his friends. But why? Why would the creator of the universe care so much about being close to you and me? Here's the answer. It's not something new. It traces back to the very beginning, to Adam and Eve, and the same story the Jews and Muslims believe in. When God created Adam and Eve, his goal wasn't just to make some beings to populate the earth. He created them for relationship. He wanted to dwell within them, to share in the experience of life with them. Imagine that. The God who created galaxies wanted to walk side by side with humanity. That was the plan. That was the closeness he desired. But then came the separation. Humanity chose disobedience. Adam and Eve's sin wasn't just about eating some fruit. It was a choice to reject God's closeness and trust in themselves instead. And with that choice came a rift, a spiritual separation that no amount of human effort could bridge. Now here's the thing. The entire Bible is the story of a father who lost his children and activated a plan to bring them back. That's the overarching narrative of Christianity. It's not about rules or rituals. It's about a relationship that was broken and a father who would stop at nothing to restore it. No other religion tells this story. Judaism ends without resolution, waiting for a Messiah who has already come. Islam misses the personal relationship entirely, reducing God to a distant figure who demands submission but offers no intimacy. Only Christianity offers the perfect ending. God himself stepping into history, taking the punishment for sin, and opening the door for humanity to come home. That's why Jesus came. That's why he walked among us, died for us, and rose again. It was never just about forgiveness. It was about restoration. It was about bringing us back into the closeness we were created for. That's what any loving father would do. And that's the difference. So you see, this isn't just another religion. This is the story of a God who didn't give up on his creation. He didn't leave us to wander in the dark or try to earn our way back. He made the way himself. Now the question isn't whether he exists or whether he cares. The question is, will you let him in? Because that's what he's been waiting for all along. If you're a Christian, this message isn't just for you to nod along and feel good about your faith. It's a call to action. Share this with someone who needs it. Share it with your friends, your family, your co-workers, anyone who needs to be reminded of the God who loves them and gave everything for them. Strengthen your own faith by being bold enough to spread the truth. And if you're not a Christian, look, I know this might sound like a lot. Maybe you're skeptical, maybe you've got questions, maybe you've been burned by religion before. I get it. But let this message be a seed. Just think about it. The God of the universe, of everything, actually wants to know you. That's not a fairy tale. It's the truth. So take a moment to wrestle with it, to dig deeper, because truth doesn't mind being questioned. It only gets stronger. And that's it. This isn't just another video. This is a wake-up call. The question is, what are you going to do with it?